Alright, hello good people and welcome back to Unit 5 on Banking and Investments. In our last two videos we talked about major purchases, specifically how to buy a house. In this last part, I promise it's the last video of major purchases, it's how to buy a car. So here's the deal. A lot of people get swindled out of a lot of cash when they try to buy a car. They have no idea what they're doing. They think that suffering through it for 5.5, 6 hours when you go to buy a car is the only way to do it. False. 100% false. You can make out like a bandit if you want to, if you know what you're doing. If you put your foot down and you tell them how it is and what you're going to do about it, you can buy a car and waste significantly less money than other people, okay? So here's how you do it. Before you start, oh my gosh. There we go. So before you do it, be pre-qualified. Go to your bank before you even decide on a car, okay? Or you can decide on a car if you want to and go to the bank and be like, here's how much this car is. How much can I afford? If they're like, not that much, you might want to not have your dreams crushed and just not suggest that particular car and be like, listen, I need a new car. I need you to tell me how much I can get total for a loan. All right. Ballpark, I would say, if you're looking for your monthly payment to be like $400 or less, you need to have a car that is like 25 grand or below. You're like, oh my gosh, it's not a lot. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Okay, used cars are your friend. All right, so for that, you need to narrow down your options. If you figure out that you can only afford 27 grand and that's it, sure, fine. You can get yourself a nice car for 27 grand. I'll tell you that right now. All right, my car that I'm driving is an SUV. It's 2016. It was super nice, real clean, one owner beforehand, no problems at all whatsoever with maintenance and whatnot, okay? Real easy. You don't have to be out here like, oh my gosh, I'm driving a clunker. No, you're not. You're driving a good car. Deal with it. All right, narrow down your options. Research the actual value of the car. There's this cool thing called Kelley Blue Book or KBB. They will legitimately, in an unbiased fashion, tell you how much your car is worth. So, for example, we can go ahead and do mine, Kelley Blue Book, Google search, boom, kbb.com. Let's say, for example, we're saying like my car's value, okay? All right, so when I say like trade-in values, let's say I'm trying to trade my car in. All right, I pick it. It's a 2016. Come on, you can do it. All right, all the way down here. Beep, boop, bop, Toyota. Model, 4Runner. Zip code, not that. 27858. Mileage, 40. Yeah, 40,000. Go. What style? SRD Sport Utility. SR5, sorry, not SRD. What equipment? Select your options. Whatever. 4-wheel drive. Yes. What color? Black. Good. Next. They're going to look at all the cars that are near me and figure out what my car is worth. You can do the same thing if you are looking at this car. So if you sneak by a car dealership at like 11 o'clock at night when nobody's there because you don't want to get hounded and you're like, I don't know about all this. My value is anywhere from 26 to 28. Okay? Average time of trade-in takes 1 to 7 days. How much to expect? I'd say about half. Half of what you probably think it is. It's medium effort to do this. Essentially, let's say, for example, I wanted to trade this car in and I wanted like a newer version of the car I have now. I can also go back and check. Let's say I wanted a 2018 version of the same car. I can do that. That's fine. And then I could look at how much a 2018 is worth and how much I have left to pay off in the loan and figure that out. Okay, so research the actual value of the car. If Kelley Blue Book tells you that this car is worth 26 to 28 and they got a sticker on it for 35, boy, you better run away. You'd be like, I'm not paying that, so figure it out. Okay, they will make you pay the most money if you don't heckle them down. They're not going to willingly take money off of the table. Okay, so there's that. Research it. Decide if you're going to buy online or in person. If you want to try to buy online, that's on you, okay? But just be mindful that it's much more difficult to catch somebody in a lie. It's much more difficult to get scammed if you're in person because you can be like, you literally just said that was like you were only going to charge me 30 grand and you got 35 on this paper. What are you doing? Okay? It's easier to get out of an in-person purchase than an online one. Okay, so while you shop, please make sure you don't let them run your credit. If you have already gone to the bank and you are pre-qualified for a loan, let's say, for example, we're talking about me, okay? This is what I wish I had done. I did not get pre-qualified, and I got 5 hard checks on my credit, and I was not pleased because I had been working so hard to build it up out here and trying to stay above 700, and then bang, I was at 680, and I was like, what? What do you mean my credit is 680? And they're like, oh, we just ran 5 hard checks. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, so if you're pre-qualified, you literally just have 1 hard check from your bank. Let's say you go through the credit union, right? And they're like, we'll give you a loan for $25,000 at 4.5% interest. That is a significantly smaller amount in APR than you'd be paying in someone else, another random bank, okay? Don't let them run your credit. You don't need them to check what your credit score is. You already did that with your bank, okay? Don't do that. Don't give them your social, because if you give them your social security number, they're going to run your credit, and you're going to get a hard check, and that's 5 to 10 points, and it takes 2 months to come off. Okay? Don't do that. Please remember that your time is valuable. If you're sitting there pissed off because you have been out here in this car dealership for 4 hours trying to trade a car in and purchase a new one, if you're tired of it, if you're over it, if they are taking too long, pick up your keys and your phone and your purse or whatever you brought in there and leave. Leave, okay? Be like, but don't be rude about it. Just be like, listen, I don't think that you're respecting my time. I'm going to come back here tomorrow at X time. I need to be out the door at X time. It does not take that long to process paperwork, especially if you don't need them to shop around for a loan for you. There's nothing that you need to wait on, because the vast majority of what you do sitting around waiting in a car dealership is waiting for them to run numbers on how much that they're willing to give you for a car. You can literally do that over the phone on your lunch break and be like, I need to be like, people call it like out the door at 27. Miss Robinson, when she bought her vehicle, she did the same thing. She said, listen, I did my research. I already seen how much you're going to make in profit out of this. I need to be out the door at $27,000, period. So before I come in there and you waste my time in this dealership, this is how much I'm willing to pay. If I come into that dealership and that's not the number that's on the paper, I'm leaving. Got it? Good. Okay? You are allowed to do that. This is your money. Do what you have to do. Okay? Ask them to see the list of the actual costs. If they say no, leave. Run away. Don't sign anything. Okay? You do not have to pay all of them. There's a strong chance they're going to try to swindle you out of extra money, especially if you come in there pre-qualified for a loan and they aren't making money off of it. Okay? So, like, for example, if there's a dock fee, that means that you are paying a fee to take the car off of the dock, like off of the giant cargo ship that it came over from Japan or wherever, because the vast majority of our cars are made in Japan. Hashtag Toyota, hashtag Honda, okay? Kia, Hyundai, you get the drift. All right, so anyways, you don't have to, especially if it's a used car. I bought a 2016 a year ago, okay? I'm not paying a dock fee. That car has been in Little Washington for a year. There's no way you're going to catch me out here paying an $800 dock fee for a car that has been in the United States for 12 months. False. Screw it. Cross it out. I'm not paying that. So you are allowed to tell them, this is a ridiculous fee. What is this fee? And if they can't explain it to you, tell them that you're not paying it. Okay? If it's a BS fee, call them on it and tell them you're not paying it. All right? It's fine. Don't be pressured to buy if you're not comfortable. If you're not 100% sure that this is a good deal, if you need to go home and sleep on it, go home and sleep on it. It is fine, okay? If you're like, well, I have to make a sales deadline today, that ain't my problem. That sounds like a personal problem to me. Goodbye. Get your keys, get your purse, get your wallet, move it, get out, okay? So don't be pressured to buy if you're not comfortable. Okay. Also, don't take flack from somebody if they don't want to sell you a car. So I knew good and well I had good credit. I knew good and well I had like proper pay stubs. I have a good paying job. I am a responsible individual. My credit score was over 700 at that point, and I went into a dealership here in town, and I said, hello, yes, I would like to buy this vehicle. And they said, what do you want for your monthly payment? And I was like, $350 or below. They're like, we can't do that. Oh, so you're going to give up commission on a vehicle by telling me that you don't want to pay this? That you don't want me to even like test, wouldn't even let me test drive the car because my dad was with me. And I was like, my dad isn't buying this car. I'm buying the car. So I walked away, bought the car that I wanted from another dealership, and then dropped a coworker off the like next day or like 3 days later to go get her oil changed. And the salesman who told me I was not going to be able to test drive the car, like walked up and looked at my vehicle, and I like waved at him. So don't be pressured one way or the other. Don't be disrespected at a car dealership. That is absurd. Okay, it's a dealership for crying out loud. Let's talk about the cost of car ownership real fast. and then we'll be done, I promise. All right, so property taxes, you're going to have to pay tax on your car because it is a piece of property. It is an asset, okay? Your property taxes are going to decrease every year depending on the value of your car. So if the tax value of your car is, I don't know, $15,000, you're going to pay a percentage of what that tax value is every single year. And if your car continues to depreciate in value, which every single car, with the exception of collectible cars, do, just go ahead and, like, you're going to have to pay less property taxes each year. All right. It also depends on where you live. So, like, for example, bigger cities have higher property taxes than smaller cities. Farmville has a smaller property tax than Greenville does. Just saying. All right, so for maintenance, this needs to happen every 5,000 miles on your car. Get your oil changed and your tires rotated so they don't go bald and, like, unevenly, like on the front and not the back. You're going to need a new set of tires every 50,000 miles. Just so you know, tires are not cheap. They're at least $100 a pop, and you need 4 tires on your 4-tire car, so there you go. All right, an inspection has to happen every year. Check to see if everything works. You have to get it inspected, and it has to pass inspection in order for you to even pay your property taxes. And once you paid your property taxes, they'll send you back your little registration, okay? And then they'll get a little sticker that goes in the top right-hand corner that's like red or green or yellow, depending on the year, or like whatever color they choose. And so that is an easy way for, like, cops driving around or, like, random people driving around to see if your car has been updated on your registration or not. Also, you have to have insurance on your vehicle. Shop around for this, okay? Definitely so. All right, and that has been How to Buy a Car.